In the name of Allah, the gracious and the merciful. This is Noreen Nawaz here with the video lecture on part 2 of great scientist Louis Pasteur. And in today's video lecture, we will come to know about the achievements and the patriotism of Louis Pasteur. Viewers, in my previous video lecture on part 1 of Louis Pasteur, I read the text, explained the points, and shared the synonyms of difficult words of first 6 paragraphs. And today we are going to start from paragraph 7. So here are the synonyms of all the difficult words of paragraph 7, and let's see what does the text say. The text says, in 1860, the French Academy offered a prize for the solution of the problem whether spontaneous generation was or was not a fact. Here, I would first of all like to explain what is this spontaneous generation. Spontaneous generation is a theory which says that living organisms generate from non-living things. And Pasteur entered for the competition and settled the matter once and for all in the negative, proving that if a substance be sufficiently heated to destroy all life, and if the air in contact with it will be filtered so that it is free of germs, then the substance does not alter. That is, bacteria do not develop in it. Now, French Academy held a competition and announced a prize for the solution of this matter, and Pasteur competed and resolved the matter by proving this theory wrong. First of all, he said that the substance should be properly heated to destroy all life present in it, or then he devised a way to flask that allowed oxygen in but prevented dust from entering, because dust contains germs in it, which we cannot see with the naked eye. They are microscopic. Then the broth did not show the signs of life until Pasteur broke off the neck of the flask, permitting dust and therefore microbes to enter. As usual, when French Academy held a competition, his opponents said that they had obtained opposite results. So Pasteur asked for arbitration. You can see on the screen, what is this arbitration? Arbitration is mediation or decision. And the Academy appointed a commission before which Pasteur and his adversaries were to repeat their experiments. Adversaries are the opponents. And before the commission, Pasteur and his opponents had to do the experiments to prove their points. On the appointment day, on the fixed day, Pasteur appeared loaded with apparatus. Loaded means he came on the appointment day packed with his tools. His opponents, however, had none. Means his opponents were not having any kind of apparatus. They said the weather was unfavorable. Unfavorable means unsuitable, and they would like to wait. The commission very reasonably refused. What did they refuse? The opponent's lame excuses, and reasonably as logically. Pasteur did his experiment successfully and won the prize. So in this way, Pasteur did his experiments and proved spontaneous generation wrong. In the course of these experiments, it means during these experiments, Pasteur found that some germs are very difficult to destroy by heat. For example, milk developed bacteria even after several minutes boiling. But after raising the temperature 10 degrees centigrade above boiling point, he found that no bacteria were left alive. This work on spontaneous generation was of great value because it stimulated other scientists to study the habit of germs, and much of our modern knowledge of these invisible but very active plants sprang means came out from Pasteur's discoveries. Now I'm going to explain these 3 or 4 lines. So after proving spontaneous generation wrong, Pasteur found out that only milk-developed bacteria was hard to destroy at normal temperature. So he suggested that that needed to be boiled 10 degrees centigrade above the boiling point. And then later on, other scientists also started to work on germs and did new discoveries because of the motivation they got from Pasteur's work on spontaneous generation. And here are the important points of paragraph 7, which I have recently read. So first point is Pasteur proved spontaneous generation wrong. He proved through experiments that living things do not get produced from non-living things. Then he found out that if the substance is kept free of germs, spontaneous generation is not possible. But he found milk developed bacteria difficult to destroy, and for that he found out that if milk developed bacteria is boiled at the temperature 10 degrees centigrade above the boiling point, no bacteria will be left alive. So now the work on spontaneous generation motivated other scientists and opened up the doors of discoveries in the world of science. And now we are going to read paragraph number 8. And this paragraph shows patriotism of Pasteur. And here are the synonyms of difficult words of paragraph 8. This brings us on to 1870, when France and Germany were plunged into war. Yesterday, in previous lecture, we discussed about the War of 1870, which was called Franco-Prussian War, when France and Germany plunged means engaged, were plunged into war, and Pasteur, ever intensely a lover of France. Intensely means deeply. He was a patriot. We have discussed in part 1 of Louis Pasteur, was filled with sorrow and anxiety. He got disturbed because of the war and with loathing of Germany, and he started hating Germany. Loathing means hating. He wrote to the University of Bonn, which had bestowed on him the degree of Doctor of Medicine. Bestow means confer and granted, asking that his name should be removed from the faculty of the university and returning his diploma, of which he speaks thus. Today, the site of this parchment is document. These lines means that because of the hatred for Germany, because of war, he returned the degree of Doctor of Medicine to Bonn University with a letter in which he said, today the sight of this parchment is odious to me. Parchment is document, means that degree, that piece of paper. Odious means ugly. These lines are showing that he even didn't like to see that document. And I feel offended at seeing my name placed under the patronage of a name doomed henceforward to execration by my country, that of Rex Gilel Mus. You can see offend means annoyed, patronage is support, doomed is destined, and execration is curse. Means he wanted his name removed from the faculty of Bonn University of Germany and he returned the degree out of hatred. So here are the important points of paragraph number 8. This paragraph shows patriotism of Pasteur. The University of Bonn granted Pasteur the degree of Doctor of Medicine. But when the war broke out between France and Germany in 1870, Pasteur returned that degree to Germany out of hatred. And now, dear viewers, we are going to read paragraph number 9. And here are the synonyms of the words of paragraph 9. Having offered himself as a soldier, where now he was refused on the score of physical incapacity. Incapacity means incapability. This unconquerable man turned to the sword of science. Unconquerable means undefeatable man, and took up the study of brewing in order to discover a method whereby France might produce beer as good as that manufactured in Germany. It means that when he got refused in army on the base of his physical incapacity, he decided to fight for his country through science, and he discovered the best methods of brewing beer as comparable to Germany. He imparted means gave. His impart, you can see on the screen, he imparted his discoveries to the English brewers as well as to the French with a rather illuminating means enlightening remark. We must make some friends for our beloved France. It means that he gave his discoveries to England to make them, to make British people the friends of France. In 1876, this work was published in a book called Tudes sur la bière, means study of beer, which has been translated into English and is the best known of Pasteur's book in England, where it has been of tremendous value in the brewing industry. These lines are showing that he discovered the best methods of brewing, and they got fame even in England. Huxley once said that Pasteur's work on fermentation alone saved France more than enough to pay the indemnity of the Franco-German War. You can see indemnity means compensation. And here are the important points of paragraph number 9. First of all, Pasteur, on being refused to be enrolled in army because of physical disability, decided to serve his country through science and found out the best methods of brewing beer. And he shared his work with England in order to make England their friend. And this work on fermentation also compensated the financial loss of France in Franco-Prussian War. And dear viewers, this is the end of today's lecture. Inshallah, we will meet soon with a video lecture on part 3 of Pasteur. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, which is English with Noreen Nawaz. And if you have already subscribed it, do share it with your friends and families. Thank you.